serving were out with
No,
drugs.
I wasn't involved.
I'm sorry, what?
I wasn't involved with nobody.
What? What is he saying?
He's saying that he was not present with anybody at the time of the arrest.
No, you were in the vehicle. What is he talking about? All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 3412B, State of Texas versus Mr. Sierra. How do you pronounce your first name? Eliza. State of Texas versus Eliza Sierra. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Humberto Saldaña for Mr. Sierra.
And are you Mr. Sierra?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sierra, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waive.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented
Yes, Your Honor.
on both counts?
Well, I believe the first count is with consent to deliver and the second count is just mere possession. So we're proceeding for the judge.
All right, state, are you proceeding on count one, waiving count two?
Yes, Judge.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, Mr. Sierra, I'm showing you what's entitled court's admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? That's a first degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Sierra, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count 1. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There's a $500 fine. State recommends community supervision. There's to be judgment satisfied entered in county court for cause number 699061. You are to agree to have the weapon destroyed. And there's to be no possession of firearms while on community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 8 years and there be a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged in count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, I submit State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No.
Any
objection.
objections?
No.
All right, state, you may continue to confer.
Thank you.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, he is gonna work once out there. He says that he is looking to get this all behind him. And he is asking for intensive outpatient treatment if possible, because he works so many hours. I know that the TAP will show that up, Your Honor. I just wanted to add that.
All right. So what do you do other than have cocaine and meth?
I do framing and construction cleaning,
Mhm.
and I have a business, clothing business that I'm trying to get off the ground.
Mhm.
And
And you're just doing drugs on the side, part-time?
no, just being foolish, Your Honor.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
I mean, how many years are we going to take this foolishness with us?
That's just and everything happens for a reason. And being here incarcerated, you know, I've never really read the Bible and stuff like that. And I found that light in me now, you know, and I wake up more happy and everything now, you know, I'm ready to just take my life, you know, serious.
Yeah, what's your favorite verse in the Bible?
The Lord is my shepherd.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what verse is that?
It's Matthew.
What verse is that?
It's Psalms 23.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
It's my first time like really getting into it, you know.
Oh, no. I'm happy. Sometimes, you know, people will always say that people find Jesus at the jail.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they pretend like they're doing, but I'm always interested.
Yeah.
For me, whatever helps people get through this journey we call life,
Yes.
that's a
Yeah,
good
I
thing.
got 3 daughters and
Oh, what are their ages?
6, 7, and 8.
And who do they live with?
With both me and my girlfriend,
Mm. And who's your girlfriend?
Emily Colleen.
What were you doing with Samantha then?
That's my cousin.
So you and Samantha Servin were out with
No,
drugs.
I wasn't out with
I'm sorry, what?
nobody.
What? What is he saying?
He's saying that he was not present with anybody at the time of the arrest.
No, you were in the vehicle. What is he talking about?
That is his cousin that is mentioned in there.
All right, is something wrong with him?
No, Your Honor, I believe that that's the only aspect that he sort of maintained was not accurate on the report. But he says everything else is accurate.
So you were not in the vehicle?
I was in the vehicle, but there's nobody with me.
Oh, so you're saying Samantha wasn't in the car with you?
I was by myself in that car.
No, they have S1 and S2.
Your Honor,
It says, based on my observations during my surveillance of the listed location and results of the traffic stop, we were able to detain S2, who was the subject of our investigations. We encountered S2's small children occupying several bedrooms of the home. Okay.
I was just drunk, I guess.
No problem. I understand. I'm going to need a PSI report on this. Ms. Ferguson, when can we come back? I need a TAP evaluation.
and I know it's a little unorthodox to ask, but would the defendant be eligible for a clear bond under the circumstances that he's already pled?
No, we'll see about a TAP evaluation and maybe we can get the TAP evaluation done quickly. Will it take long to have a TAP evaluation? Okay. Oh, thank you. So Ms. Ferguson, can we recall this back in 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm just asking for a TAP evaluation so I can get an idea of what's going on.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can have them come back on July 17th.
All right, so we're going to be back on July 17th. Mr. Sierra, you need to be very honest with what you tell them in the TAP evaluation because there's something going on here I'm not able to figure out because I don't have enough information yet. So make sure you're honest with them, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court is calling 2023 CR 1012, State of Texas versus Guadalupe Gutierrez. Can I have parties approach and announce for the record for the state?
Daniel Clark with State Check.
Defense?
Lorraine Apron.
And are you Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, sir.
All right, you entered a plea of deadly conduct with a firearm as a third-degree felony. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years. The state is remaining silent on your application. And then there are no contact orders. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, sir.
Defense?
Yes.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the state is silent. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Just, if I may, I have a couple of paycheck stubs or 3 paycheck stubs of my clients that I'd like to offer. And I had given the state an opportunity to review them. And then I have some photographs of my client with his daughter, if I may offer those to the court for your consideration.
Yes.
I also have a letter from his boss, Judge. I need to find that. I'm looking for the letter from his boss, Judge. I
All
have
right,
read-
if there's no objection from the state, if you want to make a proffer what the letter says, I do believe he's employed.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can look at this as a
It
matter of
just,
public
it
record.
speaks to his, promptness as an employee, as a valuable employee, and as to him being consistently employed and being able to continue to be employed should the court grant this application. This speaks to how much the employer values him as an employee, Judge.
Okay. All right, is there anything else?
Mr. Gutierrez, on his behalf, Judge, has had a lot of time to reflect during the pendency of this case. He has 3 children, including a daughter whose picture I showed you, his biological daughter. And he has recently reconnected with her and reestablished good communication with her mom and with her. And he feels extremely motivated now between the opportunity he has at work to do well and his relationship with his daughter being very positive. And he wants to be able to continue in that path and show the court that he can do better. I see the PSI recommends intensive outpatient. I think their focus is probably alcohol. And if the court were to deem any other conditions of free, he would absolutely comply with whatever conditions the court would deem appropriate. He has been on GPS for a considerable amount of time while this case was pending. I think maybe since
So it's been a year or 2 months.
a year and 2 months, he's been on GPS with no violations. And I think that speaks to his motivation to do better and his respect for the court orders and his ability to be a successful probationer. And I hope the court will take into account, that's a significant amount of time. He was on full GPS house arrest, and then that converted to partial where he's been able to work, but no violations. And so we're hoping the court will give him an opportunity to show the court that he can be successful on probation.
All right, but here's my concern and what I don't understand. How old are you?
37.
You're 37. I don't understand going to a bar and people tell you to leave. And your answer to people telling you to leave is, I'm going back to my vehicle and I'm getting a gun and firing the gun. I don't understand that. So I don't know if he wants to be under oath to explain that to the court, but this is what I'm trying to wrap my head around. I don't understand why people's first answer to any situation is, let me go get my gun. And I
Well,
know people, I don't know, people seem to have a love affair with weapons. And if you want to have a love affair with the weapon, then you need to treat the weapon with respect because the weapon can kill if it's in the wrong hands. And I'm just trying to figure out, there's a incident that happened. Somebody calls you out your name. Oh, let me go get my gun. I'll show you who I am. Somebody tells you to leave a bar because, I don't know, maybe you're intoxicated. Maybe there's some altercation. I don't understand why people don't leave.
I would say that the offense report and PSI reflect that he says he had 5 beers and 3 shots. So I would submit to the court that he was not thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
He
to
was-
me,
And I'm not saying that intoxication is a defense or mitigating at all. I'm just saying that, you know, it causes a loss of impulse control. And
I mean, I understand what you're saying, counsel, but sometimes I think alcohol gives people courage to do what they otherwise wouldn't have done, as opposed to, oh, my inhibitions are released. It's, yeah. So I don't know if he wants to speak to the court or not. Because I'll tell you, I'm leaning towards sending you to prison. I haven't heard anything that would suggest to me that I shouldn't send you to prison. Because I don't know somebody who takes some shots. I realize you were intoxicated. I'm reading it, but people put you out of the bar. And it's on Mother's Day too.
It was 6 guys that took me out.
Yeah,
So.
because you wouldn't leave. When people tell you to leave an establishment, just leave. So I don't understand why I should give him deferred adjudication when he went to a bar. And according to things he's saying, somebody tried to come on to his fiance. That's when you leave. And they told him to leave. And maybe they were very rough and pushing him out of the bar. I will give you that. They were rough. They bruise you up, maybe push you out of the bar. But that's where you leave and go home. Hopefully you were not driving with those tequila shots. And then, or if you don't want to leave and you stay in the parking lot, you call the police, but you don't tell people, well, I'm going to show you who I am. And then you go to your vehicle and get your gun. Did your fiance say any, did his fiance say, hey, what are you doing? This is crazy. Let's just go home.
I don't know if that's-
Okay.
You know, the altercation at the bar wasn't good. I think that there were probably others there who also had weapons. Again, not to say that there's necessarily a defensive or mitigate, but maybe it's a little mitigating. It just turned out to be a very rough circumstance. I'm not making light of the offense because obviously it's serious. And I think that the PSI speaks to the alcohol being an issue and intensive outpatient. So I think if the court would give him some opportunity to address the alcohol and maybe perhaps anger management issues, maybe that would help to lessen his future risk to the
And I
community.
see that there are other people who had guns because I see Eric Fields, who's one of the complainants, not the main complainant. He says, I just want my gun back.
Yeah.
This is Texas. We just want our gun back.
So ma'am, I haven't been in trouble since 2005. And being at that.
You want to
bar-
raise your right hand to be sworn in? Can you, do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Guadalupe Gutierrez,
And let me just tell you, your statement about you haven't been in trouble since what time?
2005.
I haven't been in trouble since 1969, and I'm putting it at 1969 because I was potty trained by then. And I didn't pick up any criminal cases. I always tell people when they tell me I haven't been in a gang, I don't do drugs, I haven't been in trouble. It's like, do you want a cookie for that? That's what you're supposed to do. So let's not start with, I haven't been in trouble since this date, because I'm looking at your criminal history and one of them is terroristic threat. And then criminal trespass. And is this criminal trespass with a weapon?
That was with a box cutter at my aunt's bar. I just left work.
Okay. And then the theft of a vehicle.
That was back in 04.
And now we're back here.
Yes, ma'am.
And on on the probation from 2013 on the criminal trespass with a weapon, your probation had to be extended. Then on the theft case, a motion to revoke was filed and you were sent to TDC. And now you have this that started as an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and the state reduced it to a deadly conduct 3rd degree. So speak to me. Why should I give you deferred? I don't understand why I should.
Well, man, I'm not a good talker, but.
That's
you told
okay.
me not to say how it started, but
No,
I
go.
was trying to prove a point that since 2005, I haven't been in trouble. And all those years, I was in the oil field for 15 years and I've never had my daughter. So now that I got my daughter, it's a blessing to me because I always wanted it. So now I have an opportunity to be a father and I don't want to mess that up.
I mean, but you have.
I understand.
I think the reunification, if you will, sort of took place after this offense. Is that correct? Meanwhile, you've been on probation with your daughter.
Yeah, it's been good. It's just like I've been on the monitor and I can't blame nobody else but me. But it gets me kind of angry because I can't take my daughter out other than be with her in the living room.
Well, I don't know why you angry about that. That's all on you.
That's what I just said.
If you would not go to a bar drinking to the point of intoxication and you're in your 30s, you're not a teenager who doesn't know better.
Yeah.
I think that if the court would give him an opportunity for some form of treatment, I think he would welcome that and appreciate that opportunity.
I just don't think he's a good candidate for probation. I mean, shooting up a bar, and it wasn't.
It was outside in the
Mhm.
parking lot.
I see that come on. Thank you. And State, I know you're silent.
Yes, Judge.
Is our applications for probation, for community supervision and deferred?
Yes.
I don't know if it makes a difference to the court. I don't think it necessarily does, but we can withdraw the deferred.
Now, see, this is what I'm reading, and this is my problem. I can understand people being angry and getting upset with people. I honestly don't ever understand people pulling a weapon, because I always taught if you're going to pull a gun on somebody, you need to know that you're to kill somebody, and don't pull a gun unless you're going to use it. That's what I was always taught. But what it says here in the police report that you stipulated to, I contacted Jason, who is the manager and point of contact for surveillance. Jason provided me with footage from one of the cameras. Jason said he was working on getting footage from the other cameras as well. The footage showed Guadalupe, that's you, being taken out of the bar. He walks to his car and pulls out a small handgun. Guadalupe pointed the gun in the air where 4 spent shell casings were found. Guadalupe and Melissa got into the vehicle and he pulls up to the curb. Eric can be seen in the corner near a white car. Guadalupe opens the car door and his hand extends out. Guadalupe then lowers his hand with the gun and points it toward Eric.
I never pointed the gun at anybody.
I mean, that's what
else
they
but
say is on the
him.
video. I mean, this is video. This is not.
And I showed her that when I saw the video, I pointed it.
Well, because it's surveillance, some parts of it are a little clearer than others, but as the car drives out, it's a little bit less clear. because of the angle of the camera.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state judge.
No, Your Honor.
All right. How old is your daughter?
7.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Eric Fields and Lefty's Draft House. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, and because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you. I did take into consideration that you have a child and that you want to be in her life and do better, but you're going to have to start making better decisions. And it's obvious that you can't drink alcohol at all. So no alcohol, you understand? All right, good luck to you. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 9151W, State of Texas versus Jamie Lozano. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Robert Mauer for defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Jamie Lozano?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Jamie Lozano who's placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 9151W for the offense of burglary of a building with intent to commit theft on September 23rd, 2022 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 2 on or about the 19th day of October 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Jamie Lozano, is in there illegally using a controlled substance, namely methamphetamine, in violation condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Did you understand by pleading to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $500 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. And I'm sorry, defense, any objection to the state's waivers?
No, Judge.
All right, is there an agreement?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
The state would just recommend revocation.
Defense, what are you requesting?
So Judge, the last time we heard the court had or ordered an evaluation for Ms. Lozano for mental health, and she didn't qualify for DDRF or any of the other mental treatment programs. The probation department's recommendation was SATIF. Ms. Lozano wanted to address the court about her request to be continued.
All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jamie Lozano.
All right, did you want to question her or?
Judge, I figured it'd be easier if she can just explain to the court what she's seeking and why she's seeking it. So
right,
explain
yes.
to the judge what you told me.
No objection.
Thank you.
I have a 15-year-old son that I'm raising alone with my family helping me. And I'm the
Then you're not raising your 15-year-old.
Well, I mean, like without his father. His father's never been in the picture.
You're mumbling. You need to stop mumbling because the court reporter needs to hear, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, you may continue.
Oh, well, I just want to go back on probation. I told the probation officer that day that I was coming up dirty and then, that I was sorry, and I've been sober since then. And my sister and my family's all sober.
Who is your sister?
She's present, Judge. She's person in the Air Force. She's in the Air Force.
Oh,
I
what's your
spoke to her.
sister's name?
JC Lozano.
Okay.
She lives across the street.
So what do you think should happen to you for testing positive?
I mean, I came back to jail and I've been sitting there and I've been reading my books. and
No, my
I don't
question,
understand
listen to my
what
question.
happened.
What do you think should happen to you for testing positive? I do remember you. Your
Mhm.
hair color has changed. So what are you requesting? What do you think you should happen? You tested positive.
I'm not sure what the options are for that. I was already gotten back sober, but I don't mind going to classes. I do. They had said they recommended counseling, and I would love to do counseling.
All right, so what I can tell you right now,
Mm.
I'm going to give you a choice. Sometimes I can't give people choices. It depends on what the case is and what's going on.
Yes.
You can either be continued and go into inpatient treatment,
Mhm.
or either you can go to the state jail facility for 18 months. Which would you prefer? But either way, you're not leaving this courtroom and you're not leaving custody.
This is my first time like ever coming up.
My question is, do you prefer 18 months in the state jail facility or inpatient drug treatment? Which do you prefer?
Can I talk to my lawyer?
Sure. We're back on the record in 2022 CR 9151W, State of Texas versus Jamie Lozano. All right, Ms. Lozano, have you had a chance to discuss your options with your attorney?
Yes.
All right, so which do you prefer? 18 months in the state jail facility or inpatient treatment?
I want outpatient treatment, but I'll take the.
I cannot hear you.
I said I want the outpatient that was recommended, but I guess I'll have to take the.
No, I mean, you're not doing outpatient treatment.
It wasn't recommended. Inpatient was recommended.
Inpatient treatment was recommended. Here's the thing, Ms. Lozano, you were here before me previously, and at that time, I believe you had green purplish hair.
No.
Your hair was not blonde,
It was yellow.
yellow. Okay. So you were here before me. So I remember you. And I thought then that you had drug issues. And what I said at that time was, we will try it your way. And so you were given a chance to be in the free world and not use, but you used. There are consequences for actions. And people seem to think that the consequence for the actions is to cry and beg to get what they want. If everybody could write their own program when they have a drug problem, you wouldn't be here because you would have written your program and you would do great on it. And I can say that if I could write my own weight loss program and have it work, guess what? I wouldn't continue to eat the pecan turtle ice cream that they have, the HEB brand, which they're out of now. And that's not because of me. So what I'm going to do is you are going either to inpatient treatment and you're going to SATF. Is that what they're
That's the
recommending?
recommendation.
All right. And I'll have you referred to felony drug court. If felony drug court accepts you, then you can go to felony drug court. But if they do not, you're going to SATF. And what I can tell you is felony drug court is not going to accept you if you come with your idea that I only used one time.
And used one time.
Let her talk.
And let me just tell you, the problem is your sister and other people who are in the military, living their life, doing what they're supposed to do, they want what's best for you. And they want to believe you. But my experience with people who are addicted, they tell great stories. And sometimes I'm listening to it and I'm like, that sounds very believable. Maybe they did go to outer space. Maybe the moon is made of green cheese or blue cheese because it sounds so believable. And your relatives want to believe you, but you need to get your life together. It's currently not. It's chaos. And I'm trying to help you with the chaos.
That was not my life. I was already starting my business that I have already started.
No,
I was.
because you know why? You know why I know that was your life?
And I had that was in October, and between October and then I got sober and I was living with my parents in order to help me get.
You know
back
why I
on
know
my
your
feet,
life
start my
is
business.
chaos? Because you're here in a felony court
I
for a
called the
felony
police on myself.
charge.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
You're here in a felony court for a felony charge.
Yes, I understand.
So
It's my
again,
house.
if you don't want the treatment, you can just do your 18 months. You'll do your 18 months, you'll be done, and you can make whatever treatment plan you want to. So do you want the 18 months in the state jail facility or do you want treatment? That's either yes or no. If you don't want treatment, then I will not give it to you. Somebody else will take advantage of it. And you can do your 18 months. You can mark your days off on your calendar. You'll get credit for any time that you've already been in custody for this case. And you can mark 18 months of your life off on the calendar. And then when you get out, maybe your sister or somebody will take you in. Maybe you will not use any more drugs. It's completely up to you. Do you want the inpatient treatment or do you want to do your 18 months? Which would you prefer? No, here's the thing. Your sister can't turn around. Turn around. Your sister cannot want treatment for you more than you want it.
I was doing treatment already out there.
All right, I'm going to help you out because I
want
see
the
you need
treatment.
help.
Like I do want.
I'm going to sentence you to 18 months. I'm going to grant the motion. I'm going to grant the motion, sentence you to 18 months in a state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Counsel, I'll retain jurisdiction.
I'll talk to her sister about that, Judge.
Okay.
I don't see a whole lot of point with it.
All right. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? All right. You have a limited.
Yes, that's my signature.
All right. You have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal as it relates to the allegation and the motion, not the fact that you're on probation. Do you understand?
No, I don't know what
All right, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition.
Oh.
If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. And what is her sister's name?
Stacy Lozano.
All right. And what's her rank?
I'm not sure her rank right now.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her. What's your rank? All right. So I want to let you know that I appreciate your coming in here. Sometimes you can't give help to people when you offer it. They have to want it. And if they want it and they have issues, I will give it to them. So don't think that this is your fault. You've done everything that you can do. Thank you. Thank you so much. Court is calling 2022 CR 8453, State of Texas versus Mark Daniel Lewis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins with the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Ed Piker for Mr. Lewis.
And are you Mark Daniel Lewis?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Mark Daniel Lewis who is placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 8453 for the offense on unlawfully carrying a weapon with a felony conviction on January 13, 2023 for a term of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Honor, violated condition number 15G, on or about the 26th day of May. And Judge, I'd like to orally.
Oh,
amend-
just one moment. Excuse me. Could you, if you all could move to the other end. Okay. All right. Are we proceeding on the motion as presented, State?
Judge, we'd like to orally amend, I've conferred with defense counsel. We'd like to orally amend the year. It should be May 2023 instead of May 2026, Judge.
All right. Any objection?
Judge, I confer with my client on that and we have no objection.
All right, Mr. Lewis, do you understand that that's a substantive change to the motion to revoke?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that your attorney has 10 days to prepare for trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you wish to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, State.
On or about the 26th day of May 2023 in Russ County, Texas, the defendant, Mark Daniel Lewis, did then and there fail to comply with the rules, regulations, or instructions.
Excuse me, just one moment. Were you changing that date?
Yes, Judge, to 26th day of May 2023.
Okay, all right, thank you. Sorry about that.
Sorry. In Russ County, Texas, the defendant, Mark Daniel Lewis, did then and there fail to comply with the rules, regulations, or instructions of the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department Substance Abuse Treatment Facility, in that the defendant was behaviorally discharged from the East Texas State ISF unit in Henderson, Texas, in violation of condition number 15G.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation 15G, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 6 years in prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of 15G?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of 15G true. Is there an agreement?
Judge, we don't necessarily have an agreement. I have no objection. The defense counsel has spoken with probation and we've conferred. And I think he has a proposal that he'd like to make to the court that the state has no objection to.
All right, Mr. Piker.
That's correct, Judge, and then I will call my client because he knows better what happened than I could ever tell you.
All right, Mr. Piker, what are you requesting?
I am requesting that the court consider keeping him on probation, not revoke him, and move him out of, don't revoke him, don't send him back to that facility and send him to lifetime recovery. We've looked into it. It's a 3-month residential. He's motivated. Actually, it was his suggestion that if that was possible to get him out of there, he wants to help. He wants to get off the drugs, but he can't do it where he's at.
Okay.
And he is going to explain that to you better than I can.
All right, Ms. Abrams,
I apologize. I cannot hear.
on this case, it is Mark Daniel Lewis. There was an incident at Henderson, and he wants to, his attorney is suggesting that he be placed in inpatient at lifetime recovery.
Your Honor, probation would not have any objection.
Okay. And so that I will know, what is the issue with that facility? We'll say allegedly,
Would you like to hear it from me or from Mr. Lewis?
either one.
Mr. Lewis can explain it better than I, but I will tell you that he was in a gang. He was in a gang when he got there. He wanted out of the gang. He told him he wanted out of the gang. His life was threatened. His well-being was threatened. And quite honestly, from what he tells me, there was so much drug usage there and fight night that it was not conducive to getting better. It made it worse.
All right. And this is at the facility in Henderson, Texas?
Yes, ma'am. He will swear, he'll tell you that under oath.
Oh, no, I'm going to make sure that the facility at Henderson, Texas, that we do, that a spot check is done, random, so I can figure out what's going there, because the last thing I want is someone who's trying to get treatment and wants treatment to be sent to a facility where it's difficult to receive that.
And that's why I wanted him to address you, because I knew you'd be interested.
All right. You want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name.
Mark Lewis.
All right, so tell me what is going on at the Henderson facility?
Whenever I was here in this courtroom on January 13th, I signed for the 10 years probation. You gave me the choice to go receive help or go to TDC, where, so I chose the help. And whenever I was finally transported to Henderson, Texas, I threw myself into the program and I started learning about thinking errors. I started learning all the aspects I needed to learn for my first track, which was cognitive intervention. And I had a very successful 45-day call. But during that time, I made the decision to step away from the gang affiliation that I was affiliated with. And I made it known that they were doing fight nights. There were people over there still smoking K2.
Fight night.
Yeah, it was disrupted. The counselors would come in and they would read from a piece of paper for an hour and they would leave until the next day. And it was back to the same stuff. And I made it known that I didn't want no part of any of that anymore. I was trying to get back to my daughter. I let everybody know, like, I was back in my Bible. I was trying to get myself right. And a lot of people took that offensive, and they threatened me, and they were trying to jump me. And thankfully the guard was able to see that something was going on, and they pulled me out of the dorm that I was in, and they placed me in a single man cell in restrictive housing. And when they came, they were like, they wanted to send me back to that environment, and I wasn't trying to go back to that environment because of the threat. And they said that by refusing that environment, I was refusing the program. And I knew that I would have to come back here and address you, but I'm trying to do better.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. So what I'll do then is I'll deny the motion and I'm going to alter and amend conditions to include lifetime recovery, the inpatient, and you'll be transferred from the jail to lifetime recovery.
Yes, Sean.
All right. Is there anything else?
That was it.
All right, we can go off the record. See what I mean about communication being key? If I don't know this is going on, then, but thank you so much for letting me know.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You didn't get any more tattoos while you were there, did
No,
you?
thankfully not.
Okay.
Thankfully not.
And he's not from Indiana.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for letting me know.
Thank you.